be that rotate up north. We'll see if that's going to benefit the teams who are already up there, like Thunder Talk.
I mean, GS dropped out nice and early over towards Severny side, so a complete opposite end of the map here for them. And again, I think that's completely acceptable considering I think GS understands how stubborn APG is, and the APG is not likely going to give up their spot. They're a very proud team when it comes to that sort of thing. So I think for GS to be the first one to give it up is quite an achievement, I would say. And you'd expect it to happen here at our largest international. That gives them more chance at points. Top 7 is what most teams are going for. You could afford one bad game, I'd say. For GS, they decided their bad game was right there and then over towards Sosnovka, where they basically got nothing done because the fight dragged on for so long. So I think it's a good call. And they get a decent position in the circle off the back of it as well.
Yeah, up on that north side, they can play out of Severny. It's about speed on that northern side because a lot of teams are going to be rotating through that area, right? They're going to be looking at that side to find it. I think we've got a little interview.
The Gauntlet, they won RA. I mean, Rondo was quite a performance, and you guys back it up here with the win. How are you feeling?
Great now. So we start in Rondo with good points. So in Arangel, we must do the same.
Are we going to get more wins from you guys today?
Of course.
He's...
Thank you very much. Confidence from R8. They've had a good time so far, Blank. They're on 33 points. We'll see if they can keep that 10-point lead, or was it the circle helping them out? They'll have to prove themselves this time. They're starting in South George. They'll have to make their way across to the rest of the teams in the circle.
That they will. The 7 was here and he was gone.
He's quick. He's in, he's out.
We miss him already. We miss him already. Northeast side of the circle. Yeah, it's not completely empty. More Regnum Kai are probably heading over that way, but make an assumption they could be heading there. GS, Max is saying that this is their second spot on the map anyway. This is not too big of a deal for them. Able to Severny. Honestly, I'd hope they would avoid the fight in Sosnovka. I think Severny's open right now. I don't think there's much reason not to go there. I think if you're getting a southern playing path, though, I imagine that, yeah, likely both teams will clash. But we'll see as the game progresses. Again, it's one of those things where I think having a free open drop spot is far better than clashing between a strong team like APG as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, despite being able to win it that last time around, right? It's not guaranteed, and you do have huge chunks taken out you, almost guaranteed. Oh, the lone survivor from Orangutan from the last game. He's riding strong into this one. Let's see if they can make their way up. Currently, Orangutan making their way up from around Shelter, around that lumber yard, the top of the hill on the southeast side, and they're moving up to the east side of Yasnaya right now. They have got 2 players a lot further back, so I don't think they're going to be looking to take on Alpha 7 anytime soon. You can see them just over the hill, but they have stopped off in a pretty solid compound here. We'll give them a couple of opportunities, a couple of decisions to make, and options to rotate into the next stages of this game. A nice little foothold for them to be playing forwards. Hopefully they can do the same as last time and get into those later stages, but maybe with a few more players.
Possibly a few more points as well, because for Alpha 7, who is a prestigious tall, with a lot of background of being one of the most aggressive in the lobby, it is a little bit unfortunate seeing them play the way they have, but it's given them 9 points at least. But RA is quite clearly leading at 33. I think generally our average right now is probably about 18 points, right, across the board. So any team that's in around that 10-point region, it's not a massive jump you need to make to get over towards the top side, to get towards the top 7 position right now. But it's a case of holding on to that spot at the end of the day. Over towards northeast, though, Kameshki split from Thunder Talks. That has been regrouped over towards the south side of Stalba now, who are on our screens. They are rotating similarly on the path of Alpha 7, and Thunder Talks, I think, are realizing that they need to hold out on this eastern rotate.
King moving over on that northern side. One of the few players that can go toe-to-toe with Silas in terms of accolades in the PUBG Mobile world. He has got a storied history, although it has been a while since he sat atop the pack. Certainly Silas with a more recent dominant performance showing. We'll see if that clash continues to bear out this time around. So far, both Kaya and Thundertalk doing well on the game so far. The first 2 matches have gone well for both of them. It's 23 points for Thundertalk. Kaya with 16, and still plenty more to prove themselves further. So we'll see what more they can do. DRX, again, another global championship title team. They're moving in over that North Yasnaya Lake. So a lot of our teams with that global legacy currently packed in on the north side of Yas Lake.
Pretty atrocious gear, though. Got the Scar, level 1 helmet, vest, and a long journey from DRX to get towards a position. And honestly, from this spot, not massively guaranteed a lot of looting capability unless they're able to shift on down on the south side of the lake there and pick up the buildings. Mad Bulls finding shots over towards Silas, immediately removing him from the equation. That was an outpost, and that was instantaneous. So Kaya loses a critical component of the team nice and early in this game.
Well, you say nice and early. Not nice for the fans from the Turkish region or for Kaya fans, but brilliant for everyone else around them. We'll see what they can do with 3, though. See if they continue to find some fights. Hang on a minute. Are they split? Is that Loxy all the way down on the south? I think it is. Oh, dear. That is... I thought they were all up on the north side, and that might have been a lot better for them because the circles just popped up there as well. DX Xavier with a large swath of that land to the southeast side of Severny. Great for GS on that pop as well. The question is, can DX hold? Because they have faltered in their hold so far in both of the matches we've seen.
I mean, both times has been a little bit difficult getting backstabbed as well on the third party, but for DX Xavier, they are pretty damn good team, honestly. I'd hope to see them do a little bit more. I mean, they haven't been having a horrid time so far in this tournament at 12 points. It's not the worst thing that could happen to them. Realistically, they just need one good game on the day, and if they can keep going on this trajectory, they'll be fine. This was the rollout over towards Silas. He was attempting to get towards our Wizard Tower, some kind of position to hold strong in, but nice pop out on the vehicle. And again, you get into that stage of the tournaments now in the year where those plays are common place. So yeah, you can't really just be rotating wildly out in the open.
No, you will get spotted. You will get taken down. Weighed and measured, found wanting this time around for Kaya. Taking shots out towards Orangutan as they move over the hills. Actually doing so fairly successfully. 4 position, working out, and they'll stay as 3 for now. They did lose a player earlier, but this is a solid shot straight on through. The difficulty is, though, there's a lot of teams on that north side already packed in, not least of which Thundertalk. They are here on this north side, playing near those cable car approaches to the Stalber Hill. Playing near one of those stations. They're taking shots over towards Ulf as they try and rotate through. Teams are getting neighborly, but it is not a solid place to be moving into right now. It is very, very dangerous.
I talked a lot about VP, and I think for fair reason as well, as that they were a menace in their region and continue to be a menace here. Pmgc, they're rotating in from that northeast side though, so they are late to the party. Will be coming in at the back of the queue. E Arena already set up. DRX moving in towards Severny alongside them on the south side. Have a couple of 2 stories to work with. DRX currently only on 3 players though, so not wanting to engage any fight early. I mean, a very ambitious shot. I'll put it that way.
Sometimes you've got to take them, you know? If you land 1 in 10 times, you get a point. Or you get an opening. You get a huge profit from it. But yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We'll carry on. We'll crack on with it. Next circle coming on through fairly soon, as well as the Wolves try and take the shots over towards APG, but it's being responded towards over towards that shooting range hill. Wolves wanting to get away and wrap around towards where Kaya sit. with this circle, that's probably the approach they're going to try for. Regnum Karya, as 3 actually, going to continue to send in. We'll see if they make that mystical rotate, but Thundertalk may be slap bang in their way. I think this is going to break out into New Mutiny here in the middle.
Thundertalk on a very quick rotation as fast as they can, pushing through the middle of the field, but where do they go from here? And a nasty tire burnout from King. Well played from Orangutan. Should be able to pick up that elimination. No, Xavier actually finding that off on the side as they assault the position. You're right about them holding on to these spots, but Xavier, the rest of the backers coming in through thick and fast, but a good step up from Sing there.
Can't quite find the crossfire for Xavier. Now a nade in hand for Xing. There's 2 players in action on the inside here. AJ and Xing, both holding one door frame as Paragin. Nades as well. Xavier, they are cut down to 2, and R8 are here to play. Current lobby leaders. They want another piece of the pie. And in they go. 4 players alive on side. They push on up, and 3 players now in action on the inside. They get the res for Thundertalk, and they get the heal off as well. This is going to be crucial, and Xavier may have a shot. R8, though, storm the gates. They are not going to allow Thundertalk out the back here with a Molotov, forcing them to stay around, and a second knock, a third. R8, a tidal wave of force rolling on into the compound.
Yeah, this is a weird time to third party. You're not really third party. You're just entering the fray here. Warzone now available for RA, but plenty of points to pick up. A total of 5 here if they're able to make it happen. Paragin should find the Murray. The rest of RA were not there to respond. Bit of inaction there, in my opinion. Playing on both warehouse doors, 2 and 2. There's no one really ready to refrag him as he went for that nade. It's a good play from Paragin pushing up the way he did. Now it's in a 2v2.
And Xavier, who looked like they were on the ropes. They had 1 player knocked on the outside, a full force R8 to deal with, but gets caught on a tire, and now maybe they're back where they started. Unfortunate, but R8 still continue to win out these fights, continue to impress. They're up to 5 elims now. They lost a player to an unfortunate push out. You talked about Amori moving out. Maybe a little bit overzealous, but they get the benefit for it. And a 5-point game to capitalize on their first 2 blank. This is impeccable stuff.
Yeah, I think that what we're kind of missing from all of this is that they took down 2 teams in that process, right? Very, very quickly as well. So there's no one really outside the borders to third party them. But not only that, they clear a massive amount of space around the area, which you can see right here. So thank you very much for bringing this to everyone's attention. But you can see right there, there's just so much space that now they have cleared in that position. Gives them much more freedom to breathe. You can see for Alpha 7, when they're moving through Regnum Karya, Mad Bulls, Kara's in the way, GS2. But R8 can sit pretty for quite some time now. Such a dangerous push. And an odd time to do it in. Again, very lucky that they entered as Xavier went on the defensive. But yeah, I think for R8, they still play it fairly well. I think the only mistake there is that Amari pushes out solo. But even then, I think he thought he was covered by the smoke. And it is just a smart play from Paragin to just push the smoke, which most of the time is a bad idea.
How are they? FGS just moved as 4 through about 9 teams just there and got through fairly unscathed. Massive confusion tactics as they move out in a straight line, swerving left and right, and nobody seems to be able to understand what's going on, least of all me. They've managed to make it to Severny. I don't even know why you would choose to go to Severny. It's not necessarily the strongest spot right now, but they'll get there. They'll be safe for another circle.
Yeah, I think that they assume that the only area that's still free of space is probably Severny, considering it's on the western side of the circle. I don't think they're taking into consideration the previous circle, though, in which case quite a lot of teams would have wrapped onto this spot. ESO goes down, sadly, to QXZ, who has held this position for quite some time. I think most teams just weren't prepared to take shots and were worried that shots would be taken at them if they stepped up there versus GS, because it is such open land over towards that eastern side, which is not fun always to rotate through. Obviously, GS has a much easier time of it.
Somehow, I mean, it felt like Mad Bulls should have had massive broadside on them, but it just was not to be. Kara, they take a knock, but not going to be flushed just yet. Alpha 7 want to descend on the position, though. Look at that forward pressure. Moving in for Obscure, playing close, and Marceau goes down. Lewis up on high, trapped out in the blue, and Kara have nothing to say about it. This is a brilliant little piece by Alpha 7, picking up a nice little opening for themselves. On that eastern side, though, they still have to put the pace down because the blue zone marches forwards, and there is so many more obstacles left in their way.
Kara attempts to move up, but Orangutan immediately put that to an end as Poser goes down. I think Mad Balls might have actually even found that knock and flush there. Wolves on the south side. A clear crossing over towards the north and see if they can pull a GS and just push on through. They have a lot of vehicles to work with. Question is where are they going?
Where is their destination? Will it be a little brown box on the ground? I think. Well, it's the ridgeline just before Severny for now. I mean, this is actually not terrible here. They've got terrain cover out to their east side. It's unlikely the OG step up and take shots out their way. This will be okay for now. For now being the operative word.
I mean, it's closer towards the center. It's closer towards the center at least. We are waiting on the next circle shift, which does go north of us towards APG and Regnum Kaya. So our two teams that are basically the stragglers inside of this lobby. I think Orangutan is going to have a little bit of a difficult time moving over towards that north side. But this is such a disgusting area to play. Very open over towards the beachhead. Not ideal locale for anyone. There's going to be between DRX as well as GS right now on the north side of Severny, who basically have a lot of control here because they get to decide the momentum that they want to take, as they will hold on to the compounds the longest out of anyone in this circle.
Mad Balls playing this 2-2 position. They've had it for a while. They couldn't really control too much on the rotate. Certainly not from GS, and now Alpha 7 going to try and move around it. Tulika sprays towards them, but again, just not connecting, not even taking shots anymore. But Pusher, the same story. They're waiting for the back two, but they're not even taking shots there. Maybe this is how GS were able to get on through it. There's just no shots coming out from the Mad Balls. It might be an ammo issue, to be fair. Looking at those numbers, maybe that's what they're looking for. A little bit of ammo conservation. As Alpha Gaming, yeah, they're immediately pushed off that beachhead.
It's tough. It's very, very tough. And I mean, as just two players, it's pretty easy for Alpha 7 just to wrap around on that side. It's the tiniest of a hill here that's giving Alpha 7 a little bit of space to breathe. They are having to drop down quite a few smokes to make the rest of the cross. Squeeze out, making sure to remain vigilant.
Wolves still holding their little ridge line. Higors, really an important feature of their hold right now. The only thing that's stopping E Arena fully overwhelming this position. Them and DRX, to be fair, from the north, a potential third party on the road crossing, but they're establishing their smoke lines. This, though, is the opportunity for Wolves to bring Doran back to his feet. If they can get back to fighting force, that is huge. And a pick off onto Morban is even bigger to keep the Wolves safe on that southwest side. In the meantime, on the southeast, you've got Ulf pushing their way through. They need to get past what remains of R8, which is Prestige, and the Mad Balls, who seem to be completely reluctant to take shots at anyone. So perhaps easier than they thought it would be. A knock sent over towards Coops, though, and there's that trade-off. The Arena still making this fight navigable.
Patton has to push that. Like, he has no choice but to push that. Sadly, now down to just Higors off on the backside. I don't really know what Batten's game plan was there. He's just running backwards and forwards. As soon as your two teammates get knocked, you have to relieve pressure, right? And the only way to do that is to hope that Higors is able to hold out players peeking from the window as you push up and take down the player underneath. Alpha 7 gets some great nades over towards Regnum Kaya. We'll flush them out. In the meantime, Mad Balls is currently absolutely tearing their way through Ulf.
We had a word from our eyes on the ground from 7WG. He gave us some info that OG said that they're building some confidence and they're looking to adjust tactics. Obviously, coming through from India, having a great time here so far at the start. They're up into 5th place now, Blank, on the overall standings. And if they can continue to build that confidence, it would be great to see an Indian team back towards one of those really competitive spots. It's been a long time before since we've seen that sort of thing, and it would be great to have it once again. That representation would be brilliant. We'll look forward to it, but they need to hold their nerve. They're on the south side of this one. In the meantime, DRX, GS, after GS's mad dash, going to come into conflict on the edges of Severny.
DRX will just be holding the high ground. 3 players for them, GS underneath. Still pretty incredible GS are able to get here. But a fantastic game from Alpha 7, I'd say. Playing slowly from that northwest side. VP were taken down a little bit earlier, but RA still have profited massively of this game. Immediate shot from Revo over towards Pusher. Kulika's straight down. And more nades been sent over the top. That nade was so on target as well. Very unfortunate, doesn't take down Flip. Luckily, there's another angle from the side, from Obscure. This is a fantastic hold from Alpha 7. You love to see it.
I mean, they're playing with the barest of scraps, but they are making one hell of a broth right now. They'll add the chicken to it in a bit. That's what they hope anyway. GS moving on up through DRS as well, and it looks like there's no retribution just yet. The hop through, again, not working with the DBS, but it is going to be the drop down, turn the corner. It's going to work out. Jafar, though, we've seen him anchor these positions before for GS. Last man standing. He did it against APG. Can he do it again here? A long-range shot. Real hopeful with the DBS on that one, but puts him back behind the corner, and Arena are going to be a third party to it. Jafar still, though, moving up to the top rope. Looking to try and drop the elbow, but maybe overexposed now as teams across the way. They'll get his sightlines. That woolly hat looks mighty tasty as a point, but he's got more to say.
He's down. He's taken out. Jafar's gone. Shot from afar, very, very much afar as well. Alpha 7 up to 10 elims now. DRX is just going to give it the ghost, try and send away in a vehicle. QXZ swerving all over the place like a snake, but it's not enough as Obscure will grab the snake by the neck and take it out the back. Very, very well done.
Goodness me. Arena, okay, hang on a minute. They managed to make their breakout here after getting rid of Wolves. They have got that little ridgeline to move up towards. They're going to work it out. Prestige, last stand for RA. Takes a lot of damage, and you've got to imagine that this is going to be done and dusted, but he finds a nade. Will fall, though, to Mormon's answer. And R8 down, but in 4th place with 6 elims. Blank, it's again a good game for our table toppers. Let's see what everyone else can do, though, as Alpha 7 continue to extend their line of influence. Orangutan, they're up into 3rd.
I think the thing is about Orangutan is that they're consistently getting towards end games, but it hasn't looked pretty. It has looked pretty bad, honestly. Last game, hiding in the water. Previous game, hiding in the water. This game, hiding on the south side. There's been some points here and there, but like I said, it's not saying it seemed too phenomenal. You got to respect that they're making it far into a lot of these games, but again, it's hard to say. I mean, this playstyle does technically work. If they're able to pull this off at an international level, there's nowhere where I can say that, you know, hiding will only get you so far for so long. It's like they're already doing it at an international level, so you gotta give them praise for that. But it's definitely not going to get you a 1st place.
No, not 1st, but maybe a 7th. Right, and that's maybe what they're looking for. I did have a little correction from 7WG, who I gave some info that he sent over towards them earlier. He said that OG are actually looking to adjust to be more focused towards elims as time goes on. And once they build that confidence, that's what they want to end up as, a high elim focused team. Well, maybe not a high elim focused team, just maybe more focused than they are now. So perhaps that's what we're going to see from them here, potentially. They're up to 3 elims on the match. They started on 16 points, Blank, at the start of the game. They guaranteed to be on 19 from the elims they found already, and then you add on the placement points as well. But this is their big test, moving against the Arena.
They lied. They straight lied, dude. They have not adjusted the tactics for elims at all. Yeah, it's been another slow game some okay nades though. I'll give him that. This one, the side does find a little bit of damage there. Good shot from Kriyov from the distance towards WizGod. Again, you're exposing yourself towards the beachhead on that jump up. I think this is exactly why E Arena's playing down this position. This should be a textbook Alpha 7 win though, and one that couldn't have come sooner. I think for Brazilian fans, this is a very, very good way for Alpha 7 to save face after what had been a couple of pretty upsetting games.
This is hopefully their game to take, but never say never, as the Arena still have got a shot onto this one, and the nades aren't quite connecting towards the Arena. Revo under danger, under threat here. The nades are still coming out for him. He's like a mortar turret there in the grass, but it's only a matter of time before he gets spotted. Orangutan, though, in the meantime, getting put through the mincer. Having a real tough time. Their backline's cut down to 2. The heal comes out, but Alpha 7, they're faltering a bit on their 3-man push here. Not quite as effective as maybe they would have liked. They do hold a lot of ground. That is their major asset right now, Blank, but it is all up pushing, and that is not the way to do it. One knock found, a second needed, necessary to take down Orangutan right here and now, but they're not going down without a fight.
Yeah, I mean, this is bad news. They absolutely need to keep 3 players up, otherwise this happens with the Arena. They immediately reposition. The reason they were taking fights on towards that high ground, though, is specifically so they could dominate over towards E Arena later on. But I think that initial knock has been a little bit worrisome. I still think Alpha 7 has a strong chance to finish this one out strong, though.
Yeah, with just Sakura now remaining, Mormon getting that knock onto Carrillo made me worry, but there was an answer. Carrillo kind of missing that spray, but it's not going to matter. The numbers still firmly in the favor of the Brazilians now. As Rizal moves out, Sakura takes some shots, but there's an answer from the side window.